Welcome to the Buy List. This is episode 62.
This is not financial advice. This is Sir Bolton. Shisha and cardboard. What do we have going on, Ted? How was your week?
It was good. It was really good. And I got the draft misfail for the second time. It was only a 6-man pod, so it was pure chaos. I drafted Enigma because the person passing to me was Ninja. It was Ninja, Assassin, Ninja. So I was like, I'm seeing Enigma. And then the two people I was passing to went Enigma as well because they just decided they wanted to play Enigma in the armory. And so it was a mess. It was not great. Plus, I had no idea what was good in that deck. Like, looking at her cards, man, they're like literally are an enigma to me. I'm like, is this good? I'm like, all right. And then like as I'm playing the games, I'm like, this card's bad. Actually, like in play, this card's not good.
Yeah. So for all of our listeners, I'm gonna give the classic. Here's how the draft is set in 1 minute. Okay, so you draft Enigma. You just force Enigma. You assert dominance, get everyone else out of your way.
Yeah.
You take 3 blocks. You want 5 to 6 transcend cards, and then you want a spectral manifestation, a waxing specter, and that's really about it. Waning isn't great, but you want the gloves. Gloves,
Yeah.
super important. You need uphold tradition. If you have an uphold tradition, you can take 1 waning and you get to turn it into a waxing specter with your gloves.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you just block, chip. You play pretty much like protect the president, make your little Kodachis,
Yeah.
and then you kill them. You want evasive leap, most broken card in the entire set. Big Blue Sky, also dope. So get a couple defense reactions in Yaguchi.
Yeah.
Minute out. You just 3-0'd your pod. Congratulations.
Yeah. It was still pretty fun. I'm a little sad that like we're kind of past the misfield draft
Yeah.
like time.
Yeah.
So I just like completely missed the boat, which is kind of weird, right? I drafted a lot of heavy hitters. I drafted a lot of bright lights even. If you've been listening to the pod for a long time, I've always contended that I liked drafting bright lights. I felt like it was skill intensive, and like once you did it enough, you kind of understood it. Like early on it was bad because Teklo just ran you over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of a weird situation for me. Like I even tried to do a bunch of sides at Nats, and it just like I was either doing like actual sides and not on demands, and yeah, just didn't get to it. But I got to do it this week, so that was fun. We also concluded our UPF league, so no UPF this weekend. I already miss it. We're gonna try to get a new kit for that at our local stores. So, what was your week like? Oh, dude, I want that card. I only have one. I need another one.
I got it in the collection.
Nice.
My week, I didn't do anything. It's been crazy.
Yeah, I get that.
Work's been kicking my butt. My kids have been kicking my butt. I didn't get to go to my armory because I had to go to a birthday party at Pizza Ranch. And you might say, what is Pizza Ranch? It's exactly what you think it is. No further questions or answers. So that was
the 2 words put together. Sure.
Yep. Just that's what it is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much my week. I'm hoping to get to my armory next week. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
And hoping to play, I don't even know. Probably just Enigma. I'm so lazy at deck building.
Dude, I reconfigured my Zen deck with the bonds stuff, and I'm like, all ready to go. Not able to get to my armory this week. It's just like somehow CC is eluding me as well. It's just summertime things, right? I'm doing all kinds of stuff, so it's been tough. But man, Miss Vale, such a
What a
weird
set.
set. We've already talked about it a little bit, and we got to get to we have 2 topics tonight. We got to get to it, but
All right.
man, my last 2 streams, dude, there's some boxes of Miss Vale that are crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I popped in your stream last night because I was not at my armory, and
We
I
found some
just
heat last
I was
night.
like, oh, look at that guy's got a traverse already. That's gas. And then all of a sudden, oh, look at that. He just got a Passover marvel.
Yep. We
And then
found
there's a
yeah, we
leveled in that box too.
yeah, we found 2 Passovers and back-to-back boxes out of the same case, Marvels. I was like, "Wow." And the week before that, I pulled that, like, crazy box too. It was, like, EA Traverse, 2 Marvel Young Heroes. This is from 2 boxes, 2 Marvel Young Heroes, an EA Traverse, and another legendary. I can't remember what it was, but I was just like, "What is happening?" Oh, and a Weakest Link and a Rainbow Foil Levels in 2 boxes. I was like, "Whoa." Like, oh my god, dude, it's so good. Keep doing that. Keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so that kind of let's get into our first topic.
I was gonna say that does not lead
That
in
does
at
not.
all to
No,
our
we did
subject
not. No,
matter.
I had a transition lined up, and then I just kept talking, and it's gone. And so this is the transition.
True professionals here. So I guess it kind of
The
does though, because
transition was really good. I
yeah,
just
I mean it
don't
does
have it anymore.
because we talked about it so much. It does kind of actually lead into first topic, which is is it, are we gonna get too many heroes because the living
Mm.
legend system isn't actually living legending anything? The only thing that we got that got kicked out of CC was an unplayable deck, anyways. And we currently sit at 27 heroes, and
Mhm.
we are unlikely to lose any of them before Rosetta releases.
Yeah.
Like, the only one that we could potentially lose is Dash, and Dash would have to win Pro Tour. Or the
Yeah.
calling? Is that how that
I
works?
have it up right here.
No, even
No,
if
the
she won the
calling's
calling,
only
she's still
50.
Gucci.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so when you brought this topic up to me, I think it actually is worth talking about, right? Because they so beginning of the year, this beginning of the year, Living Legends points were pretty slanted towards large events.
Mhm.
And we had seen in the past heroes just disappear on a weekend, which is like uh I didn't really like it that way, to be honest. We saw
Yeah.
Chain do it. And we saw Dromai kind of do it as well, right? Where it's just like they were kind of in striking distance, and like it kind of felt like once a hero got over the like 600 point mark, it was like anytime, any moment, your hero could just disappear at a Pro Tour
Vanished.
weekend, right? Like
Yeah.
sweeps the weekend, and you're like, oh, bummer.
Like,
Um,
that was kind of like old him.
yeah, Oldhim did it too a little bit. Yeah.
Old him, my boy. We are dude, we can't say Fang Gang anymore. What
I
are we
know
supposed
it
to
doesn't rhyme anymore. Fun
oh
gang.
dude. What are we Michael Fung, Pro Tour champion of our hearts,
Yeah.
just
Sent
Eored his way to a
a
$50,000 check. So
yeah, and took Oldhim with him.
yeah.
So at the time, I would say when they adjusted all the points, right, and they adjusted them, I had to go back and think about this. So they adjusted it where the weekends couldn't spike a hero from like 700 points to LL, and put more emphasis on the local level,
Mhm.
where now Pro Quest and Road to Nationals are worth 5 points. I believe they were worth 2 points before that. Um, and so like the overall points didn't change that much. I think in like a typical season, right, where you have a local event season and then a big Pro Tour or something at the end of it. Um, so But what that's done is it kind of feels like we're in a spot where, like what you said, where the heroes we've seen some very powerful heroes, KO and now Zen, spike and get a bunch of points, kind of get to 500, get halfway home, and then maybe just hang out there for a bit. Looking at the list, Nate, like you said, Dash is at like 910, which, she just needs the one big event or two callings. Fi is sitting at 786. He's been chilling there since Barcelona. He ain't
Yeah.
moving. Like, sorry, Fi. Like, that Phoenix Fame creation thing was real neat, but Zen literally just flexed real hard, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the old Bravo old him thing. It's like, but Bravo and dominate. I'm like, bro, it's always old him. It's like, move on. Um, but yeah, so you're right. We have some like just hanging out there. I don't know how Bravo is in third place with 731 points.
He keeps
It gets like
winning a
two at a
bunch of
time or something, or
he
what?
wins a bunch of pro quests in RTNs in Bangladesh. Um, where there's like one player who shows up. It's got
Yeah.
to be the only way.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of like, you look at the top 10 and it's like, how are any of these heroes crossing the line, right? Like,
Yeah.
Phi Bravo Katsu is definitely not crossing the line anytime soon.
Nope.
Viscerai has been sitting at 500 uh, since, oh man, it was like the one RTN season where he was like, I'm a playable hero, and then it was just
Oh, the
like,
Starvo season, right? Where he could he could combo out a Starvo, right? He probably gained a ton of points there.
even after that, he still had like a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
um it was the one after that where the Road to National season, when the Icelanders were awarded, was when I actually won my RTN and got the Icelander, was on Viscerai.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I mean, so like you were saying, if you look at the top 10, I think out of the old heroes, right? If we knock out Zin and KO out of that top 10, I would say Viserai is probably, with the upcoming Rosetta set, dude, Viserai can do some powerful stuff. He just needs dude, that guy needs like a card or two, and I think like he could probably be meta again.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, but you look at these, man. Azalea definitely meta. She might get some points this weekend. But like Bravo, Phi, Katsu, Dorinthia, all are just like
I don't
I don't know how they
how
they
they
are
get points.
literally like stuck getting 5 points at a time, it feels like at the moment.
Yeah,
Dorinthia was super close though. I think that meta is gone.
that meta,
I don't think
that
we have a
mid,
comeback.
she would do very well in a mid-rangey meta, but I don't think she does well. She does well in a. It depends on the build too, but she does it well in a meta with no D reacts. It. I just.
Yeah.
I think because of how they've like really ramped up the power of these sets, it makes it hard for me to see like worlds where like, if you want to invest in a hero that you can play forever, learn Levia. That hero is never LLing. They literally gave her the most busted card I've ever seen in my entire career,
Still.
and she's just hanging out like.
Yeah.
Ethan casts everything, so you don't have to worry about him winning
Yeah.
anything, because he's always casting. If he could play, good Lord help us, I would
Yeah.
actually be shivering in my boots.
Yeah.
Um, that man's a very good player, and I
Yeah.
am glad he is behind a camera and I do not have to sit across from him.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah. He's put in the time.
yeah, like the top 2 point getters this season were the two of the new heroes. It was Zen and New, and it was not remotely close. Like,
Yeah. It's not.
the the next closest is Azalea, and she got more or less than half the points. That's probably like what, 35% of the points that New got. Like,
Mhm.
if Rosetta comes out and it's another banger, and then all of a sudden like you have all these old heroes who just shot up the leaderboard, and like, look at even KO got 75 points.
Mhm.
Like, all these heroes shoot up the leaderboard, and then the next set comes out and they just stall
Yeah.
because like the next set is just like crazy banana bologna sandwich, and it's like, how are
Yeah.
any of these heroes going to LL? We have 27 heroes. The whole reason they changed the LL system was because they wanted to say thanks for playing with us, but get the F out of my house now so we can do fun things. And now
Yeah.
we've got all these heroes just sitting around, just be like, can I have an expansion slot, please? And it's like, LSS don't got no 27 expansion slots.
Uh,
Go back home, Timmy. We don't got anything for you.
yeah. So I guess I'll play devil's advocate here. So here's how I see this playing out. And I agree with you. It currently does look like they're just stalling out. They just like peter out and then like Dash just sits there at 9-10 forever, maybe. Especially when you were Zen, and it's like, how do you compete with Zen, New, and Enigma, right? Those are just clearly powerful. And Rosetta's, we don't know how Rosetta is going to be, but like I would imagine they're going to fight these new heroes a little bit. Like I don't think they put out like crud again. But does it matter, right? Like I think there's two solutions to this, Nate. Like you just said, like begging for expansion slot cards. I think there's definitely a solution where they can just print a busted card for a hero and just be like, time to go. Maybe it doesn't always play out exactly how they want, but like Tome of the Imperial Flame felt very much like, all right, Joe, we're kind of done with permanence. Here's this card. We know it's pushed. Go have fun, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Dash gets something like that. Maybe Phi gets something like that. So maybe we see something, and we might actually just be in like the ebbs and flows of it, right? Because we did see a lot of heroes LL quite quickly, in like kind of succession, right? We saw all the Tails heroes kind of go one at a time, very, very close together. So maybe we're in like a little bit of a lull, but I could see it picking up, right? I mean, Dash leaves and Kano gets some cards. I think Kano could probably be the one that just like shoots up like instantly, just like poof, gone as soon as he gets some
I've
wizard
never
cards. But
wanted. Actually, that's not true. I was like, Kano, I would love to have leave the game just so wizard design gets to be cool again.
yeah.
Um, but also, I was about to say like I never wanted something to leave the game more, and I forgot the entire assassin class existed, and I hate playing against assassins. So I
Yeah.
just want to play with my cards. Just
Yeah,
let me
just
play
let me
with them,
play with
right?
my cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like we also like pre-show we talked about this too. The other point that I was kind of thought up too is that, let's be honest, you're like, man, we're at 27 heroes, we're going to 31 in CC. Like, what are we doing? We're also going to get more heroes in armory decks next year, or that's been alluded to, right? So we could get even higher than that 31 number. But let's look at the bottom of the list. Betsy, is she a hero?
Is she in classic constructed?
Is,
No.
is she actually a hero? Probably not. Olympia, also a little bit half baked. Arachne, kind of a lore piece, right? Brian,
Yeah,
shout out,
I
love
don't
you,
think
but
he's.
he
Yeah.
knows it as well. I've seen interviews with him, right? He's kind of like the fun guy just hanging out. A lot of these are, right. Vincent as well, like with 15 points. So I think we have some like, I think we're seeing a little bit of bloat because they had to put Olympia in heavy hitters for draft. And I'm okay with that, right? If they have to put in a hero that maybe doesn't just come out swinging in CC in a set because they need limited to be good, I'm okay with like, Olympia just chilling, right? Now it hurts my soul to say that, but like Vincent is like the one hero I would just love to be like, just give me like B plus tier, please. And like I could like not be frustrated. But I'm sure Olympia mains out there are like, dude, how dare you?
Dude, show me an Olympia main. All right, just show me one Olympia main.
Dude, there's a guy out there switching out armor at every second he can, man. He's like, look at this. I get to switch out my hat. Now I got a crown of Providence. What are you gonna do now? There's a guy. There's a
All
guy.
right, all right. Chat. If you have an Olympia main at your armory, You have to actually. This can't be someone you read about on Reddit. Those Reddit isn't real. It has to be someone local to you that you've played a game of Flesh and Blood with, and they mainline Olympia. Dude, there's Arachne mains out there.
Oh
I
yeah,
have one at my
yeah,
I have one at my local.
yeah.
He loves Arachne.
Stalwarts, dude. Stalwarts.
Dude, absolutely. Betsy also. Show me one
Really?
Betsy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah. I don't think there's any Betsy
No,
mains.
no, no. No, no. I think if the lore was better with them, we would see actual Olympia and Betsy mains. I just think a lot of the like, where the is her log? Give me
Oh
Betsy's
yeah, she doesn't even
log.
get her weapon, dude, which is like a travesty.
Dude, J Dubs. Carol, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
Where's the log, brother? Show me the
Yeah.
log.
Well, easy phrasing. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, it will be okay. So I guess
Dude,
overall,
once the log comes to, I'm all in. I'm all
yeah,
in. I'll be a Betsy main. I'll be the Betsy main.
yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting comment, right? Because we got used to like stuff leaving pretty quickly and kind of just like cycling through, and now we're in this point where it's just hanging out. I think I think
I
it'll be interesting to watch. Another point is, Nate, is that I think it will be interesting to watch when we start stacking RTNs and Pro Tours or Pro Quest seasons. We had them back to back this year, and now we're kind of in this like just hang out and watch the big events happen. And I think once we get back to this like RTN season, then a Pro Quest, then another Pro Quest, right? We get this spread out. I think you can start to. I think you'll start to see a lot of these heroes collect points. You know, because it's 5 points a win, and like Bravo can win an RTN. Phi can win an RTN, right? I mean, it's not going to be at lightning speeds, but like they'll start gaining points.
little by little, yeah. And like, look, my only concern is the ecosystem gets too big,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's why I made the comment of like, can I have my expansion slot, please, Sir James? I need an expansion card. And then it's like you got freaking Teclo Daddy over there, like, I would like 4 Evos, please. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to prepare for a professional level event if there are 40 heroes in the game.
Yeah, but but literally 15 of them you don't have to you can ignore. Like you can ignore 15 of them right now, Nate.
I would argue you can probably only ignore 2 of them. If I'm being completely honest, if
Bro.
you said there's a world where Olympia is obviously just a worse version of, it depends really. Olympia could be a worse version of Great Axe. It could be a worse version of Hatchets. It could be a worse version of
Mhm.
Dawnblade. Or Centauri Sabers. But the thing is, if you sit down across from it, this is the first time you've ever played an Olympia, and the Olympia will always have more games into you, and they have a distinct advantage because they've decided to submit Olympia, and you have no idea what they're going to try to do to you because
Yeah.
there's no defined, like if it was like Teklovasen, you know what Teklovasen's doing, right?
Yeah.
Teklovasen's going to build his little suit, and he's going to go, oh, here's the 3 for 9, and then he's going to go, I'm Superman, and then he's going to literally remove a brain cell for the rest of the game and have 3 cards.
Yeah.
But like that's my like concern if the ecosystem gets too big. That
Yeah.
yes, it'll be fine at the armory level, but preparing for like worlds, pro tours will be much more difficult.
Yeah, I think like the preparing side, I you know, I think it's like how do you want to slice that, right? It's like you said, like I think you definitely have to start preparing for more. I think like Miss Vale, you now have to prepare for 3 more decks, like full stop, if you're not playing one of them, right? And like Rosetta, I would imagine you're probably going to have to prepare for 4 more, right? Like I don't think that they're just going to
Bangers.
not
Yeah.
be at Worlds. Maybe one of them. I would say like maybe 3 of them are good, and then one of them is like, oh, that's cute. Um, but
It's a little rough. It's Aurora too. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, the lightning rune blade.
That's cute. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. She's not gonna be. She's not gonna be like just a world beater. There's no way. Um, well, maybe, but probably not. The but the side. I guess the flip side of that is I would worry more about like it becomes like harder and harder to manage for the devs and for the guys
Yeah.
creating the cards and stuff, right? Like they definitely have some tools in their toolbox to like help them out greatly. Let's look at Rosetta as an example. They can lock wizard card like busted wizard cards behind Earth and Lightning, and then so Kano can't touch them, which is like how they get around because I think they print one, like I've said this before, they print one wrong card that says just wizard on it, and it like goes haywire. Like
Yeah.
Kindle's like already super close to being like, whoops, we
Kindle is
destroyed the
definitely
game for a month.
Kindle is whoops, but like there's just like a lot of inherent Kano
Yeah,
variants, and he starts at
yeah,
30 life. So
yeah. I mean,
uh,
so he's got some protect. They got some protection there. So like, but you know, when you have Bolton, you have Kasai. I'm going to pick on Warriors. You have Kasai, you have Dorinthia, you have Olympia. I can imagine it's kind of like you kind of sweat a little bit. You're like, wait, does this card break Bolton? But we're trying to like buff up Olympia. Does this card helps Dorinthia get past the line, but then inherently it does something here. So it's just a lot of boxes to check. And like stuff can get a little bit sloppy if they keep going this way. But again, I don't think I'm on the side of where I think we need to see some RTN seasons like really crank through some more and see how these points shake out because
yeah,
at the end of the day, I'm still more in favor of the less spike weekends where you just watch your hero get vaporized and then you have to figure out what to play on Monday on your armory, which is like
yeah,
it's exciting to see because I was like, oh man, that's cool for Chain to do that and he won a pro tour, but also it's like, oh, I don't get to play him anymore on Thursday. Like bummer,
yes.
dude. And I'm sure Dorinthia people or sorry, Dromai people felt that way as well. So
They're fine.
yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting. It's interesting. I think I hope they keep it the same for at least another RTN season and another ProQuest season, like past into next year, to see how it shakes out.
Yeah. And I think like one of your points too leads really nicely into the next topic, which is like getting to play chain again.
Yeah.
Because we have Living Legend skirmishes, which I think, and we talked about it, it's just a great idea. One, the
Mhm.
skirmish pricing, nice.
Yeah, dude, that is a
Great
nice
freaking
thing.
job, LSS.
Yeah.
Dude, the skirmish pricing is better than RTN pricing. It's like, do you want
Yeah.
a rainbow foil hero or cold foil channel mount heroics? Give me them cold foil channels,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
You know those are going to be cash money. A
Yeah.
Blaze promo for first place, like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, people are going to be sweat and like,
Hmm.
um, and you had said like this gives them a lot of really good data, like
Yeah.
for LL.
Yep.
So they're pump. I think they pumped the pricing to drive
Hmm.
people out to get even more data.
Yeah.
Um, but I like you've told me kind of like your TCG orders have really picked up. So you
Yeah,
could,
since like you said, since the pricing was released, I'm getting orders for cards that like I'm getting orders that are clearly LL prep. Like like a full order of Icelander cards. Like not the like whatever I have in stock, but it's like buying hypothermias, buying channel out or channel like frigids. It's like, oh,
yeah,
this is obviously someone wants to play Icelander and LL. Or I've seen a lot of Fi cards come through, which really I think you would I think you know stubby fi is something that probably is happening there. um yeah, Starvo cards coming through. And it's been pretty consistent over the last couple weeks, right? I'm not getting it's not like 15 orders a day, people are going crazy, but
yeah.
you know, I from the
You
media
know
I
it.
consume, I don't see a lot of talk about it. which is
Yeah.
weird, and that's why I think it's a good topic for us to talk about for a little bit. Is that I have locals that are really hyped for it. Like people were clamoring, be like, "No, not Blitz, please LL," like at my local stores, because I think, yeah, I think it's like the perfect event for an LL uh, format because it's like low
Yep.
stress.
Yep.
Top four gets prizing.
Yep.
The mats are door prizes, I believe. Like for first place, you just get the Blaze promo cold foil, which is like super nice.
Yep.
And then the mats are door prizing. So it's like it's skirmishes have always been pretty chill. So it's like adds a little bit of fun to it, and then you get to play chain, you get to play Icelander, Starvo, etc., etc. So um, yeah, they did a really good job with this, and I'm excited to see how it shakes out. But at the end of the day, I bet you the devs and the guys at LSS are like, give me all the data because one battle or like two battle hardens is just like, how do you even crunch that data, right? You can't. It's just not enough.
I think they also want to, like, I look at all the stores locally. No one has any LL stuff. Like I have a store locally that runs 2 events a week, and there's UPF, Commoner, Blitz, CC, Sealed, Draft. No living legend. Unfortunately, they got a skirmish and it is Blitz. Not unfortunately, sorry. They do a great job. Their store
Mm-hmm.
is their store likes playing Blitz, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think LSS really wants to encourage stores to run this format and then have the players request it. And Brian did a interview with Hamish on Push the Point, and he's like, basically like, listen, like we're not going to try and push LL on anybody. We're not going to
Mm-hmm.
try to make this like a calling format or anything right now. What we want is if people like it and they want it, they got to scream it from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll look at it. Like if we're hearing
Mm-hmm.
time and time again, we want LL battle hardens, we want LL callings, we want
Mm-hmm.
an LL pro tour, then they're going to make it happen. But it has to come from the player base. Like it's not going to be something that like LSS is going to be like, we're gonna make you guys play LL
Yeah.
calling. And it's like,
That's good
it,
self awareness by LSS too, right?
yeah,
That they understand that they can't just be like, I could see other game companies, like maybe not TCG companies, but just like gaming in general. A lot of the times, it's just like we think this is best, so here you take you take this and you like it, right? Too
yeah,
bad. And
yeah,
I think they probably learned their lessons from like not forcing blitz, but like throwing blitz into like worlds, that first worlds. I think the feedback has been pretty strong about being like, hey, let's not do that, okay? um
yeah,
so, and something I was saying data, I was thinking like playing data, like what, like chain one every, chain one 80% of the skirmishes we need to probably, if we ever took this further, we probably have to do some kind of restriction to chain, or you know what I mean, like, so it's like a fair format. It can't just be insanity,
yeah,
right? They can't have all 8 Starvos in top 8 again, right? Especially if they go further with this.
yeah.
But also they can literally compare blitz
To
to
LL,
LL attendance and
yeah,
be like, oh, LL got attended way more um than blitz, right? So they can use that like as part of the screaming it from the mountaintops, right? If it's like, okay, people want this, right? So yeah, I think it's exciting. I didn't expect to get like a ton of orders, to be honest, of cards from LL, right? And I was like pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh wait, maybe people are excited about this. And I started talking to my locals, and they're like, yeah, I want to play Starvo, I want to do this, and I think Zen is probably pretty good in LL as well. So
yeah. Stubbies is still an issue.
Stubby's on
Um,
a Bonds turn, dude. What are we doing?
Yikes.
here's here's 75 damage.
Yeah. And I think LL does have like a certain allure. Like they wanted Blitz to be a competitive format because they showed that with 2022 Worlds with San Jose. They had a Blitz section of Worlds. They didn't do it in 2023. And it's kind of like they're trying to shy away from it as like a competitive format. So
I
they,
think they've retracted. I think they've retracted quite a bit from like this format is yeah. There was a pretty heavy hand on the hand thumb on the button, right? Of like this is a format you need to prepare for. And now I think the last interview with James at the world premiere, he's like, Blitz is Blitz gets you into the game, gets you moving, It's like oof.
yeah, it's really, it would be interesting to see if this is kind of their, is Blitz in a good spot? And if it is, or not Blitz, sorry, LL in a good spot, maybe LL is the additional format for Worlds. Um, I, it's so hard to prepare
So
for
you're
three
talking
formats.
about preparing is hard. Like, can you imagine preparing for 240 health formats?
Two
Woo!
40 health formats,
And draft.
and draft, and with 31 heroes in the game. Like, and then with Living Legend, you have to prepare for
5.
so then you have to prepare for a format with 39 heroes.
No, you don't. It's come on. It's you have to prepare for Chain, Prism, Zen, and Starvo.
Dude, I am very confused on how New Prism is not broken in LL. Like, listen, I've never played a game of LL in my life, but New Prism with Luminaris in my mind is nutso.
Yeah, but Prism was like getting Prism. I think in the last Battle Hardened, Michael won it on Chain, right? And I don't think Prism really showed up all that much. Battle Harden's are weird though. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you
that's
you get
it was
2 losses, you're
it was
out.
it was Michael and Brody in the finals, and it's because they're the best players in the world. Don't at me,
Yeah.
because you're just wrong. They are. Like those two are the easily the two most consistent and best heroes in the world. I like literally just like you like in their presence get better as a flesh and blood player just by like listening to them say like 4 words, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Why didn't I never think of that?
Yeah.
It's because my brain isn't big enough.
That no joke has happened to me with Michael. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I never thought of it that before. He oh man, super tangent here, but back in the day when we first met and we first started playing, we were playing on TTS, getting ready for Nats that first year in Orlando.
Yep.
And he popped into the channel and I was streaming a game and we were playing chain mirrors like over and over and over again like we used to back in the day.
Yep.
And he's like, I draw my hand, it's like turn 0, and he's like, why didn't you Art of War there? And I was like, what? Like that doesn't even make sense. He's like, no, see if you Art of War here, it's like it gets it out of your hand. It's like, yes, you're down 1, but like you get the block and you don't take any damage, and it's like not a no block. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not good. Like, oh, I see. It was just like a thing that I never thought about. Like now it's like, yeah, I put it in my like arsenal to be like, yeah, that's a play you could make. But like I was so locked in and like Art of War is my win con. I can't even burn one of them. But he's like, no, it doesn't. He's like, you can't do anything with that on turn 1. He's like, and you take any damage here, you're losing. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's like, huh. It's like, yeah. So it's just like this the edges, right? It's always the little edges,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's like literally the moment that when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's actually happened to me before, where he's just like, hey, you should probably do this, and I'm like, ah, yeah,
Yeah.
funny.
He like unlike, he's never gonna listen to this, but he's one of the most kind humans in the world.
Yeah,
So generous with just everything, time, himself. But just an amazing flesh and blood player and a great just like ambassador for the game.
yeah,
If he ever does listen to this, like I know he's like not been enjoying the game as much lately, which I do like. I do. It's an interesting conundrum for LSS, right? Like a lot of the really hyper competitive players are enjoying the game less, but everyone below hyper competitive seems to be enjoying the game more.
Yeah. I
And
don't
I
know. I have weird thoughts on that, dude. Like I could have
yeah,
swore, and I'm not like, and this is not me calling out Fang or anyone, but there is a general sense of like, I thought you told me, I thought I heard you telling me in heavy hitters everything was too fair and you missed like broken stuff. And then we got broken stuff, and then now it's like, I don't like broken stuff. Traverse is too broken. It's like, all right, let's go back to 2 for 6s and
that I
hatchets.
that doesn't sound like Michael. I
No,
he
no,
does.
I'm not saying that. Like
Oh,
that's what I
okay.
said. Like I'm not saying Michael did this, but I've
Yes, there.
seen online, and of course it's always a certain website, but there's like, I'm pretty sure I could go back in the history of some tweets and be like, yeah, but on February 16th you said you were mad about how everything's too fair, and like you wish you had Chain and LL back, and like Prism and all this stuff.
Yeah,
And then they're like, here's broken stuff. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like
sir.
3 turn games of Flesh and Blood. It's like,
Those
I
are
don't know.
hard narcotics. I only do meth.
I don't know. Like, I'm not going to name drop anyone, but it just like, the general sentiment kind of makes me laugh a little bit because it's like, wait, but I'd much rather have it like this. Right.
I
But I was
think
like born in the crucible of like chain mirrors. So it's like Zen mirrors are like, yeah, here we go again. It's like
I was
literally the meme of the guys in the nooses being like, first time.
yeah, I was born in the darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
was,
merely adopted it.
yeah. Yeah,
That
exactly.
is exactly what I say every day one of a tournament. Is like you see all these like tired people who are jet lagged, and I'm just like, I slept 3 hours. I have 2 children. I was born in the exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then in day two, it's just like, no, I am also just tired, and my
Yeah.
brain no longer functions now. My
But
brain is just used to functioning very, very poorly at
yeah.
all times. So
All right, Nate. I think we can wrap it there. Yeah, but overall, I'm just like super hyped for the LL format. Also, super hyped to see how LL the system continues to evolve. Like I said,
yeah,
I think we're in a bit of like a stalled out moment in time, but I think it'll ramp back up. And then, man, we get like PT stuff.
that's sweet.
We're soon.
Yeah,
By the time this comes out, PT spoilers will be out. We'll know what the Wizards do.
we're
Be
gonna look
very
like
exciting.
complete idiots.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
you better drop this thing tonight.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that
Three
way
heroes will
Brian has
LL
something
by
to listen to
Sunday.
while he goes to bed.
Yeah,
I
but
do think that I really wish there would have been something in the US because it does feel like a very
yeah,
this stretch just feels so dead. I haven't played. I literally have played like maybe 3 games of Flesh and Blood since early June, which feels weird for me, and I feel a little disconnected from the game. And I think it's a little dangerous to like. Listen, we're all crackheads. Let's be real. And guess what? J Dubs is our dealer, and he like we aren't hitting the crack as hard.
yeah,
So like I want to play Flesh and Blood again. I
yeah.
miss playing Flesh and Blood. I just have no reason to, and I've actually been like
As
really
much as
enjoying
yeah.
not, which is a little scary. Like, am I just like done forever? I don't know. Probably not. I'm a degenerate.
I
Um,
I kind of feel the same way, but then I realize next week I'm going to Gen Con and I'm playing Flesh and Blood every day. And then the start of the next month, I'm doing the world premiere in Tampa. So I'll be doing Flesh and Blood there. And then at the end of the year, I'm going to Japan too. So it's just like, oh, like at the moment, in this singular moment, I can be like, oh, there's nothing to do. And then it's like my whole fall is just jam packed, dude. It's going to be insane.
yep. I'm still working on trying to go to Japan.
Ooh, that'd be sweet.
Still working on it. We'll see.
All
But,
right. All right. We'll call it there. Thanks, everybody. Please like, subscribe, do the do.
and put your money where your mouth is. Meow, meow, meow. Matt Coles!
Peace.